the people. Well, let's talk to someone who knows all about this sort of thing. He's a former prison officer and he's a host of the Real Porridge podcast, Sam Samsworth. Morning, Sam.
Well, how are you doing, mate?
I'm good, I'm good. I learned something yesterday from a former prison governor called Vanessa Frake. And she said that one of the problems at Chelmsford, and indeed other prisons, is this, that prison officers' staffing levels are so short, such a shortage that the gates, as it were, the people manning the doors and the gates of the prison, are not actually prison officers. They're kind of contracted people who specifically let people in and out. Therefore, those are the ones who allowed Hadush Kebatu to leave the prison, and when he came back 4 or 5 times and he kept saying, "Excuse me, I'm not sure you were supposed to release me," in the end one of them said, "Oh, for God's sake, the station's up there on the left, will you just go?" Although I do think that the people who let him out have to take some of the blame, it's surprising to me that the people manning the gates, the big locked gates of a prison, are not actually prison officers.
Okay. So firstly, operational support grades they are, yeah?
Yeah.
So the assist prison
Oh, hang on, we've lost the sound
officers, usually minimum prisoner contact.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost you.
Yeah, no, you're back. Yeah, don't worry.
Are we back?
Yes, you are.
Right, so these people work in specific areas, so they will be trained in that area. The fact they're not prison officers, for me, is not the real problem. Successive governments for the last 25 years have reduced staffing levels and budgets in prisons that they've just become impossible to recruit.
Yeah, what did you say these gate people are called? What's their job again?
OSGs, operational support grades.
Okay, so operational support grades. Okay, fair enough. Perhaps they are. But whoever let him out, it's their fault, isn't it? It's his fault or her fault.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Well, hang on. They're the ones who let him out. They're the ones who 5 times he came back, 5 times they said, "Get out of here, get to the station." It's their fault. It's that person's fault. I'm not saying it's not the prison governor's fault as well, or David Lammy, or the prison, but it's their fault. It's not. You cannot exonerate that person.
Them people will escort people to the gate and release them.
Well, they shouldn't have done, should they? He's a sex offender doing a year. Why did they do that?
Well, let me explain. So that person, is just the final part of the trail. There should be a paperwork trail. What I can't believe, quite honestly, with this guy is, do you recognise that guy?
What?
Would you recognise him?
Well, in his prison tracksuit, carrying a plastic bag full of his possessions.
I absolutely would recognise him. I can't believe that. Yeah. It does go way higher up. It's not the prison service. It might find it controversial, but they're strained that much now. Prison reception is an incredibly busy place to work.
Well, okay, hang on a second. Look, I get that, and I do understand there are staff shortages, and as I say, I think the buck needs to stop at the top. I think that prison governor, Mark Howard, needs the finger pointing at him. I think the prison minister, James Timpson, needs to answer a few questions. And I think David Lammy, the Justice Secretary, needs to be in the frame as well. But the people who actually let him go, it's their fault. They've got to be in the frame as well, right?
They can only work with what's presented in front of them.
No. They
Honestly,
let this.
Listen.
You said everybody could recognise him. They let him out.
I know they did.
So they made a mistake, didn't they, Sam?
No, they followed the paperwork.
They didn't make a mistake.
No.
They didn't make a mistake letting Hadush Kebatu out. I would suggest, Sam, with all due respect, they did make a mistake.
Okay, listen, just hear me out a minute. If that paperwork said he was due release, they're going to release him. That's it. So, for me...
Well, we don't know that the paperwork said that, do we?
Well, we don't without seeing it. I mean, obviously, they're looking at the release procedures.
Who did the paperwork? Who would have done the paperwork?
There'll be a big chain. there should be
what do you mean,
warrant
big
to hold someone in prison.
Who made that decision? Who would have signed off his release?
The paperwork would say that.
Yeah, but who signed off the paper? Someone somewhere made an egregious mistake, and they've got to be blamed.
You would have to look at everybody, yeah? Before someone's released.
No, I wouldn't have to
let me
look
explain.
at. No, I wouldn't. I want to look at the person who signed off on releasing Hadush Kebatu. Don't blame the chain. Don't blame the system. Don't blame staff shortages. Let's get real. Someone somewhere made a terrible mistake and they need to be sacked, right?
Can I go
yes,
again?
do they need to be sacked?
Firstly...
No, Sam. Whoever signed off on this needs to be sacked, right?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? What do you mean you don't know? You mean that wasn't a mistake?
Yes, obviously it shouldn't have been released. However,
fire them
somewhere in administration, from the courts, the paperwork, I can see that he should not have been released.
Yeah, I think that might be the case, Sam. I think perhaps he shouldn't have been released. Yeah, I think we can agree on that. Whoever is responsible for signing off on his release needs to be sacked. I'd also suggest that Mark Howard, the governor of Chelmsford Prison, needs to be sacked. Personally, I'd sack James Timpson, the prison minister, and David Lammy, the Justice Secretary, as well. But this is Britain, and no one ever carries the cane. No one ever takes the blame, do they? Huh?
I would definitely go to the top.
Yeah, and also the person who signed off on it. And maybe the people on the gates. They should spot, you know. Anyway, Sam, I take your point. The Real Porridge podcast, worth a listen, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, mate. I'm not blaming you, but you can see where I'm coming from. Good to talk to you, man. Sam Samsworth, former prison officer.